Hey there, my name is Vikrant Shaurya and I'm the founder and CEO at bestsellingbook.com, where we help entrepreneurs, coaches, thought leaders turn their ideas into best-selling book with our done-for-you book writing, publishing, and marketing services. And the worst advice I've ever got was never become an entrepreneur.
Never become an entrepreneur. Who would tell you that? Was that some teacher or who said that, Vikrant?
So I still remember like I was in my eighth standard. I was around 14-year old. And there was kind of a normal orientation going on. Asked, my teacher was asking everyone, like, what do you want to become in like when you grow up? And I come from India. And India, like, of course, back then, there was this kind of a mentality. There's still this mentality that if you are not a doctor, if you're not an engineer, if you're not a government employee, then you are a big time failure. So when people were calling everyone that what do you want to become, introduce yourself. So everyone was saying, hey, my name is X, my name is Y, and I want to become a doctor. I want to become an engineer. Most of them, right? Almost all of them. And I was the only one like I who said uh, back then I never knew about this word entrepreneur or entrepreneurship. I said I want to become a businessman, and everyone laughed. Almost everyone laughed. And of course, teacher was kind of a serious, but still everyone was laughing, and I was not sure why they were laughing. And when, of course, the class dismissed and the teacher went away, then one of my best friend, he told me that, hey, dude, don't say that you are a businessman. Say that you will be an engineer. That's more kind of a good thing for you.
Interesting. Interesting. So what does your friend think now that if we fast forward a bit, because you're, how old are you now? If you don't mind my asking?
Yeah, so I'm 29.
Okay, so half your life ago, you got this advice from your friend. What does your friend think now?
So honestly, I'm not in touch with that person, that friend. But still, there were so many people like who were in my college when I actually left. Of course, that's another story. But I went to an actual engineering college, right? And all when I decided that it's not for me. When I came to this conscious that this is not for me, I want to do something of my own. I dropped out of the college. Almost all of my friends, my classmates in my college, they were laughing at me. They were making fun of me. Hey, like, what will you do? Like, will you beg or something? And now everyone wants to talk to me. Now
Interesting.
everyone calls me that, like, hey, like, I also have this business idea, how to start this business, what to do for the marketing, all these things. There's so many people like who reach out to me, like who were making fun of me a few years ago, and now they want some advice from me for like how to become an entrepreneur.
Wow. It's amazing how the tables have turned like
Mm.
that. So is that is that how you got started writing, or what got you started on the writing process?
Yeah. So when I dropped out of the college, I started a business and made bunch of mistakes. I was 18 at that age, and in 6 months, I completely ran out of money, and I had to shut down the business. I was in a financial debt at the age of 18, and now I was sitting in a single room apartment, not able to pay my rents, my bills. I was sitting with a broken laptop and a 2G internet speed connection, searching online how to make money online with zero investment because I had no money. And then I figured self-publishing, that I could write books, I can publish book, and I can make some royalties income. So when I discovered that, and let me tell you this as well, that I'm one of the worst subject I used to hate was English. I used to get the lowest grades in English subject. So I'm not like, of course, English is not my first language. Um, but still, if I can become an author, if I can write my books, then anyone can write books. Just wanted to share this. So I wrote my first book in just 21 days, and I was able to publish the book. In the first month, I made around $27. It was a huge deal for me because this was the first time I'm making money. Of course, it was not enough for me to pay my rents and bills, but I was seeing something. And then I wrote another book in just 3 days. It was a short book, just 40 to 50 pages. And then this time I also marketed both of these books, and this month I made around $440. So it was a huge jump. Yep, and now I was seeing things, and so this is how I started in this book writing and publishing journey.
Awesome. $27 to $440. That is a good jump. I mean, that's, I know a lot of people haven't, still probably don't make $440 a month in self-publishing. So that's great. So what was the first topic that you talked about? Was it like life stuff, or was it just, did you write about your experience, or talk to me about that first book that you wrote?
So I never recommend this to anyone, to my friends, my clients, but like I never recommend to write anything about, like, if you don't have any expertise about that topic. But just because I was into a certain situation and I had to write a book. So the first book which I wrote was How to Sell Your House. And the book's title was 19 Days to Sell Your House. And I had no idea about real estate, no clue about how to sell house. I had no industry background, nothing at all. The only thing which I did was I took all the information out there, which was there, and I took it in a easy to understand way. 19 days to sell your house. It was like broken into 19 different chapters, and every chapter was day number 1, 2, 3 to 19, and it was explained like what you have to do on the day 1, day 2, day 3. Now I've published all those books which I don't have any experience to learn. Like now you can't find it on Amazon or anywhere else, but you can still maybe find some reviews. So on Goodreads, there are still some reviews about the book 19 Days to Sell Your House. And people, like I received, like several years ago, I received this thank you email from a reader that he was able to sell his house using the concept taught in my book. So it was kind of a really amazing feeling, but honestly, I don't recommend it to anyone, that if they don't have any experience about any topic, never write a book.
Yeah. Wow. So $27 and one person sold their house. That's still good, though. I mean, that's still an impact. And I think that's enough to propel you forward. So at what point, so then you said you wrote another book, you made a little more money. At what point did you realize that this was going to be a business for you?
So when I started writing books and publishing books, then there were some of my Facebook friends who were entrepreneurs who used to live in States and Australia. Some of them, they were from Canada. They started reaching out to me that, hey, like, you have published your book, because for the marketing, like one thing which I used to do was also posting it on Facebook and different Facebook groups as well. Back then it used to work, now it doesn't work. So when I used to post it, then so many, like I got some really good attention from there. Some of them, they started reaching out to me like, hey, I also wanted to write a book, but I don't have any expertise. Can you help me write a book? So this is where I started. I started offering them coaching, and of course I did a coaching fees as well, a little bit, and of course making some money. But also I started helping people. Within 1 or 1.5 years, I launched dozens of courses, ebooks, and programs around how to write and publish a book. And I was able to launch these courses in international market using JV Zoo and Warrior Forum and Warrior Plus. Got more than thousands and thousands of students from there. Was able to help so many of them write and publish books. But things started changing when some of them started reaching out to me, who were entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants, that, hey, your stuff is really good, but we really don't have the time to sit down and write the book. And then I got this idea of this done for you book writing, publishing, and marketing services. I also did some research and found that most of the famous books out there, like Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Richard Branson's books, Losing My Virginity, almost all of these famous people's books, they were ghostwritten. They don't write the book themselves because they understand that they don't have the expertise in writing the book. What they do is they're really good at speaking those ideas or sharing the message. So they hire a ghostwriter. these ghostwriters interview them, understand their voice and personality, and then they write the book for them in their personality. That's what they do. And that's what I've
Interesting.
replicated in our company as well. We have a team of angel writers now, which is kind of a hybrid version of ghostwriters, editors, publishers, marketers. And the company is incorporated in states now because almost all the clients we have, they're from states. So that's how I created this company.
Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. So for folks though, let's talk to the do-it-yourselfers today that are looking to write a book and looking to get started. You have got a great book out that's all about how to write a bestseller, to become a best-selling author, to attract high-value clients and skyrocket your authority. In the book, you start out with the profitable book idea, which I think is super important. A lot of people miss this, right? They just write a book to write a book. So how do we find that profitable book idea, Vikrant?
So, Phil, it's really important to understand that we are not writing the book for ourselves. We are writing the book for the readers who are reading the book. We are taking them from point A to point B. We are solving a certain problem. And the bigger the problem is, the bigger the profit is. So that's, if you understand that, then of course we'll be able to create a profitable book idea. And to do that, to really do the market research and find out what their problem is. For example, if you serve maybe coaches, right? If you serve the coaches, then there are hundreds and hundreds of groups on Facebook which are free to join. You can join them. You can simply ask them anything about their problem, what they are coming for, and then exactly understand that what they are facing, what kind of problem they are facing, right? And then you can also have a chat with them. You can make some friends, and then really understand what they're going through, and then crafting the entire book accordingly. So that's the way to find out how to come up with a profitable book idea.
That makes sense, right? So you interview and have conversations and kind of be part of their community to understand where they're struggling, how they're doing, and write a book around that, what solves their problem. That's great. I like that. So how do we then, you move into the book titling, right? Book titling is hard for sure. So how do we craft something snappy that isn't already taken? I mean, I know book titles can't be copywritten, but nonetheless, I don't want to write the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People because I'm going to guess I'm not going to show up first in search. So what does that mean, right? How do I do that?
So the first thing which we have to understand is Amazon is like a SEO. Like Amazon is kind of a Google, which has an SEO algorithm going on. So people don't search your book by going to any specific category. What they do is they simply type it in the search box. And here you have to use certain keywords which people are really typing in maybe you can use it in your title or subtitle, in the keywords, in the descriptions, so that your book can outrank the other books in the topic. Now, how you can do that? There are some tools out there called Publisher Rocket. There's one tool called Publisher Rocket, through which you can find out the really good, profitable keywords and categories. And once you find out those keywords, then you can use those keywords in your title. And one thing that I do for my books and for my clients' book is I always do the A/B testing. For example, you create maybe 3 or 4 different book titles and subtitles. What I do is I go to this site called pickfu.com, pickfu.com, through which you can have all these different titles, and then you can ask them which book you would rather read. And then these people, they do the voting, they provide you the feedback based on their, you can also choose that you can also only show these polls to only those people who read more than 4 self-help books. You can also choose based on the gender, their ethnicity. You can also choose based on their age group, their income level, their education level, right? So you can actually reach out to the right type of person if you are using Pickfu. If you don't want to use Pickfu, of course, it's a paid tool, but of course, that's highly recommended because you are not only assuming that maybe this title could work, maybe this title could work, You are going with the data, you're going with the numbers, that what's exactly is going to work in the market. Or you can also use Facebook groups or polls or LinkedIn polls, but it has to be run under your target market. Right, so that's the thing which is going to help you find out the right type of title and the subtitle of the book.
I think that's so important what you said there, Vikrant. The fact that you have to talk to your audience, not to the world, about your book, because the world is not going to buy your book.
Yeah.
There's going to be a slice of them that are your target audience, either A, the ones that you want to work with, or B, the ones you already have, and you have to spend some time thinking about them and understanding who they are and what is important to them. And that goes along with the content, it goes along with the title, it goes along with the cover. So let's talk about that cover, right? So what makes a good cover? What makes a bad cover? What have you found? Because as you said, you're a data guy, so I love to hear the data. What makes a good cover?
So one thing which I've noticed is, you notice that on Amazon, Amazon has a white background. It is a complete white. And now if your book cover also has a white texture and a background, your book is going to get lost in all the other books. Of course, there are some exceptions out there, like there are some really famous books which has a white cover, but these people, they are very, very famous. These authors are very, very famous, and if they're coming up with any book, whether it is white, it is black, it is dark, it is light, people are going to buy the book because it's completely on their name. But if you are new to the market, if you're a new author, right, then you have to create a high contrast cover so that which can go with the white background on Amazon. And also, people don't see the full cover of the book; they see a slight little thumbnail of the book if they search for the book or anything. Like, for example, if your book is around leadership, if you search leadership books, then all the results which you get, like, it is a slightly small thumbnail size. So making sure that your title is clear so that people can read it, your subtitle is clear, people can read it, and also don't go very fancy and very creative over here. Because most of the people, maybe they will not understand exactly what your idea behind that creativity is. Go with like high contrast background. The title should be visible, the subtitle should be visible, and maybe have just slight, maybe 2 or 3 elements of graphics, and it actually works. Also, make sure to do the A/B testing. It's one of the crucial steps. Again, you can do the A/B testing on Pickfu. You can go to Pickfu, have 2 or 3 book covers, and then upload it. And then, of course, find the right kind of data based on exactly how people are reacting to it. And then you can also make the changes, and then you can redo the cover based on their feedback.
Yeah, I love that you keep getting back to data, Vikrant. That is so important to do, and so important to gather that feedback before you spend a lot of money on a book, right? To do all that, do that homework and make that happen. So how do we go from, okay, I've got a book, to, okay, it's a #1 bestseller on Amazon? Do you have any suggestions for how we actually make that happen?
Yeah, sure. So for making it a bestseller on Amazon, it's a kind of a simple math or algorithm you have to understand, right? On Amazon, making it a bestseller, it's not very rocket science, it's not very complicated. First of all, you need to just understand the algorithm. And let me tell you exactly what it is. First of all, you have to find out the right categories of your book. Okay. So, for example, if your book is about leadership, then there could be also dozens of subcategories under leadership, and you have to find those categories. So when you are publishing the book, then Amazon is going to ask you to just choose 2 different categories, just 2 categories. But there's a trick. 99% of people, they don't know this. Once the book is published, you can reach out to the Amazon support team and get up to 10 different categories as well. So you can list your book under 10 different categories. And there's a tool, of course, as I mentioned earlier as well. It's called Publisher Rocket, where you can find out the profitable categories with less competition. You can also have the data on how many sales the #1 book is getting in your category. Now, if your in your category, if the number one book is getting maybe 500 sales in a day, so your goal should be to get more than 500 sales in a day so that your book can outrank that number one book and you can become a number one best-selling author. That's a simple algorithm you have to choose. So if you'll be able to get more than 500 sales, you'll be able to hit the number one bestseller if the number one book is getting 500 sales, right? So that's the simple math. Now, how to get 500 sales, or maybe the number of sales, like which more than number of sales the number one book is getting. So you can leverage a few things. First of all, it is an on-page SEO thing, right? You have to first of all choose the right keywords. Amazon is going to ask you to choose the 7 keywords. So make sure that you use Publisher Rocket to find those 7 keywords. Choose 10 different categories. Once it is done, make sure that you use the keywords in your description, maybe title and subtitle, your author bio, so that if people are going to be searching something related to the keyword, your book should be ranking higher from the other books on the topic. That's the one thing. Now, you can also leverage paid ads. So there's a tool, like, of course, one of the best paid ads is going to be Amazon ads. But one thing which I'm noticing is for Amazon ads, it actually starts getting results after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because it takes some time for the keywords to seed. So it usually takes some time. But if you want to see the instant results, then you can go with BookBub ads, BOOKBUB ads. It's the platform where you can also target only those people for audience of famous authors. So you can choose the competitors' authors, and you can just show your book to only their audience or their readers. And you can start seeing the results from day number 1. You can start getting sales from day number 1 if you set up the ads properly. So it's an amazing platform. So this is how you can get certain number of sales. At the same time, one other thing which I'm noticing is nowadays podcast is a platform to promote, is the number one platform actually to promote your book. So you can go to listennotes.com, listennotes.com. You can find almost all the podcasts in the world over there and their episodes. So for example, if your book is about leadership, just simply type leadership. You can find thousands and thousands of podcasts around the leadership. And then you can reach out to the podcast host, because Listen Notes also provides their website, their email address. So you can reach out to them that, hey, like my book is coming or my book is published. I'm an author of this topic. I've listened to this episode. I think I can add some more value around this topic. Do you want to have me on the show? Or you can have your assistant to do all the manual thing, right? So I have an assistant, like I get on around 10 to 15 podcasts in a week using the same structure. So, and I'm seeing that for my clients as well, they are getting 60 to 70% of sales directly from podcasts, because, like people ask question about the book, right? And eventually in the end, they also ask you where people can find you, where people can find your book. So it's a free promotion of your book going on. So these are some methods to promote your book and make it a number one bestseller.
Great. Lots of tools you gave us today, Vikrant. Lots of great insight. But as we're kind of wrapping it up, I want to know, like, okay, great. I've got a book. It hit number 1. That's nice, right? I'm selling books, super duper. But now what? Like, how do I use this book to really boost my business? What do I do with it to leverage it beyond, yay, I wrote a book?
So one thing, Phil, you will notice is whether we are publishing on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles or any other retailers, they will never be sharing the customer's information or customer's data. You will never ever get to know that what's the name of the person who has bought the book, what's their email address, their website, nothing at all. So you have to come up with a system through which you can also generate high quality leads. You can exactly get to know who are the people who are buying the book. At the same time, you can also get to those leads who are not even buying the book. And what you can do, so around your book, you can create kind of a ebook or a checklist or a webinar or a mini video series or anything which could be a giveaway, which is relevant to your book. So for example, if your book is about maybe leadership, then you can have like 7 steps checklist to become a great leader today itself. So, and once you offer that, then you can offer that and embed it in your book before the introduction itself. Phil, you there?
So before the introduction,
Yeah.
you
So,
offer that's so interesting. I mean, don't people want to just get to the book?
yeah. So what happens actually is before people buy the book, they always use that feature called look inside. They click on the book and then they see the table of content, they review the introduction, and then they decide whether the book is for them or not. So you have to leverage this actually. You have to offer this giveaway before the introduction so that people can click on that cover or something or that link, and they will be taken to a landing page where they have to provide their email address to get the that giveaway. So basically, what you are doing is whether people are buying your book or not buying your book, you are getting their leads, right? And also, after every chapters, you can have kind of a resource guide or resource checklist. Of course, this is going to make the entire book very action oriented because, of course, if you're talking about nonfiction, and people don't take action, like people read books and books after books, but if you will make all the chapters very actionable, like you can offer some kind of a worksheet and you can let them know that to download this worksheet, maybe in a PDF, you can click on this link, and then after every chapter, it is going to take them to a landing page where they have to provide their email address, and they will be able to download it. So what you are doing is you are exactly getting to know that who this person is. You're getting their data, and now with the help of email marketing in the back end, you can offer anything which you want. It could be your coaching program. It could be your video course. It could be your maybe, of course, you can leverage. You can offer speaking information as well. You can also offer your done for you services if you have, whatever it is. Like, first of all, you have to get their leads, right? And then people are going to be wanting to work with you because you're also like connecting with them, not only with the book, also with your email series as well. And of course, provide massive value in the emails, but just in the signature after PS, just share exactly how else you can offer, what else you can offer. Maybe it could be a coaching, video course, anything else. So every email, like it's going to be a value email, but in just the super signature, you are offering like what you offer. People find it non-salesy. People find it valuable. They will be waiting for your emails, and that's how you build relationship with them, and that's how you turn those readers into your clients or customers.
Wow, when you say that, Vikrant, it makes so much sense. Like, I hadn't considered that. I've certainly thought about, okay, yeah, maybe at the end of the book, I offer them something extra. But at the beginning of the book, to your point, even if they don't read the book, they can still sign up for your list. Who cares if they buy the book or not, right? I mean, really, I want them on my list because I wouldn't get them otherwise. And then every chapter, offer an action tip with a download that they can sign up for, that they can get that. That's brilliant, man. I dig that a lot. That's really, really helpful. So you gave us a lot of value today, right? A lot of stuff. You talked about your profitable book idea, that the bigger the problem is, the bigger your profit is. You talked about SEO. You talked about Publisher Rocket, Pick Fu. You talked about polls, but making sure you're in your target market. You talked about a high contrast book cover to make and have your title and subtitle clear and readable. Once you get it published, go out and ask Amazon to recategorize with 10 chapters. Look at listennotes.com. And then the money here at the end. Holy cow. Put something at the beginning of your book to get people that don't even buy your book, when they look inside an Amazon, to sign up for it. And then every chapter, give them a worksheet or some added value so you can really get to know your listeners. What did you not share, Vikrant, that you wished I'd asked, or something if folks want to get started along this process that they should be doing to make this even more simple for them?
So one thing, of course, due to which people are not able to write their book is they don't start with a working book outline, right? So they always have so many great ideas about their book. They have great stories about their book, but when they start writing the book, they always get stuck. The biggest reason is they don't have a working book outline. They always start with chapter number 1, and then they get stuck. right? They don't know where to start, where to stop. They have no clarity at all. But once you have a working book outline ready, which means like all the table of contents or the chapters or sub chapters, it should not be finalized book outline. It should be just a basic outline so that you can, in case like today, if you just want to write about chapter 3 instead of chapter number 1, you can write it. You'll not be in a writer's block, right? So this is the first thing. This is one of the biggest things through which you people are not able to write the book. So always come with the outline first before you start writing the book yourself.
Wow. So much there, Vikrant. So much goodness that you gave us. And you're even giving away a checklist so folks can go even deeper. So, folks, if you're listening, you're like, wow, I want to get started on this. I want to learn about this. I want to get even more value from Vikrant. Go to bestsellingbook.com/checklist. Get the insights. I'll tell you, I went, downloaded it. He's also given away like a miniature version of his book, How to Write a Bestseller, which I also consumed. Really, really actionable stuff, and I really, really appreciate that, Vikrant, because that's so important. Now, if folks want to go a little deeper with you, do you have a favorite social network that you'd like them to check you out on, or what would you like, other than obviously getting your checklist, where would you like them to go?
Yeah, they can simply search me on YouTube by going to by searching Vikrant Shaurya. Like I share every week, I try to record 2 or 3 videos, right, about the book publishing and the book writing industry. I share some advanced strategies over there, or they can also find me on Instagram by simply searching Vikrant Shaurya. Every day, like I try to post something which is valuable for them. So, yep, this is where they can find me, or also LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn also great.
Awesome.
They can chat with me on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. Well, you're a very approachable guy. You gave a lot of added value to us today, Vikrant. I appreciate that. Again, folks, the website is bestsellingbook.com/checklist. The gentleman here is Vikrant Shaurya. He shared a lot of great stuff that you can do, not just to get a bestseller, but actually to go beyond and to leverage it into something you can do for your business. Vikrant, thank you so much for sharing all your insight today. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. It was a pleasure.